Hi guys, my name is Alex. I am a sex coach and I often browse YouTube, type in better sex, type in sex advice, sex tips. Obviously not for me, for you guys so that I can react to videos because, I don't need any help in the realm of sex. But I notice when I search these terms, better sex, sex advice, sex tips, these kind of things, I seem to stumble across the same videos again and again. And this one that I'm reacting to today is one of the ones that I see again and again, and it's usually like one of the top results when I search these things. So this video is titled the 5 sex tips to make you better in bed. It's got 100,000 views and suspiciously it's only got 51 comments. So there's something a little bit weird going on here, maybe not. But I'm not going to comment on that, but what I will comment on is if these sex tips are any good, if they are applicable to everyone, if these two people are giving you advice that's going to actually improve your sex life rather than some bad sex advice that's going to absolutely destroy your sex life, because that is a possibility. But today, luckily, you have me to guide you through the realm of sex and help you on your sexual journey to become amazing sexual masters like myself, obviously. And so, if you want to be more like me, which I don't see why anyone wouldn't, then let's get into it.
So we have compiled together our best tips and advice to be the best or better in bed.
Our old favourite, communication.
Communication doesn't necessarily mean writing to each other, writing essays, and having long bed pillow talk conversations.
Is that what most people associate sexual communication with? Because if so, I've been doing it entirely wrong, or maybe thinking about it the wrong way. It's like you go to your sexual partner and it's like, you know what, I really want to improve our sex. We should talk about these things, but tomorrow I'm going to have an essay prepared, and then you need to also have an essay prepared for me, and then we'll go over and compare notes.
We are just talking about right there in the moment, or a pre-brief or a debrief of sex, where you just openly talk about what you like, what you don't like, and be eager to listen to your partner with what they like and what they don't like.
Yeah, I'm not going to harp on this tip too much because everyone, I think, knows at this point that communication is key. The problem with communication is that for a lot of people, it's hard to implement, it's hard to do, because you get all this anxiety thinking that if you talk about something that's taboo or dirty or whatever it is, like sex, that you're going to get judged for what you say or judged for what you like in sex. And yes, that's bad. You shouldn't ever put judgment on other people, and if people put judgment upon you and your thoughts and preferences about sex, that sucks, and it's going to ruin the sex that you potentially have with that person, because you're going to go into that experience guarded, not able to open up, experience all of the passion and pleasure that there is to be had in that experience. So yes, communication is a great tip. A little cliche at this point, but also, listen to your partner like they said, express yourself, and not just communication as in talking oh, I like this about sex, or I don't like this about sex, or whatever it is. But they're saying, I think, also communicate during the sexual experience, so dirty talk and stuff like that. That's amazing. Dirty talk is one of the best things you can possibly do to keep your partner engaged in that experience, and the more engagement, the more pleasure, the better sex.
So this is about being enthusiastic to learn your partner's body. Even if you think you're a fucking sex god and you know exactly what you're doing, everybody's different and everybody's body changes throughout the stages of when you're playing around. So the best thing to do is to be able to sit there and listen and learn.
Okay, basically the same thing as communication. If you are going to communicate about sex and you're not going in there with the intent of learning about your partner and learning what they like, then I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you're communicating in the first place. I think that's the whole point of communication. So yeah, it's a little bit redundant, but of course it's a good tip for a sexual relationship. Of course, listen to your partner, be mindful, learn what they like, learn what they maybe don't respond to, learn what makes them get turned on. That's one of the most important things to do. And a lot of the time, it's pretty obvious. You'll see your partner's demeanor change, their kind of body language change. And if you're communicating, like in the first tip, they'll directly tell you. So let's move on to the next one.
Our favourite, don't be afraid to incorporate sex toys, lube, any kind of thing into your sexual play that is going to heighten the pleasurable experience.
Like lingerie, bondage, have a play outside. It's all about not just having sex for sex, but try to introduce new things and be spontaneous.
Okay, so I think they're kind of getting on the variety aspect of sex, and yes, you need variety in sex. This is a good tip. If you do the same thing over and over again, no matter how amazing it is in the moment, no matter how amazing it has been the past couple times you've done it, guess what? In a year or so, that is not going to be so alluring anymore. It's going to make sex an experience that is boring, repetitive, not interesting, not something that you're going to want to pursue because you know what to expect. And in the realm of sex, people get bored pretty easily. There's a thing called the Coolidge effect where new sexual stimulus is so much more intriguing, so much more mentally stimulating than the same repetitive stimulus. And if you think about it in terms of porn, the fact that you can see so many different videos, so many different people, so many different things in porn, that's what makes it really alluring and so stimulating because it's a new sexual stimulus every time. So if we extrapolate that concept to our normal everyday sex lives, then it would make sense, right, to add variety to your sexual experience. When you guys have sex, how spontaneous it is, how long the foreplay is, what you're actually doing in sex, the mental states that you are portraying. Are you dominant one time and then are you submissive another time? Are you super loving and emotional and connecting one time and then are you super degrading and demoralizing and whatever else the other time, you know? So yes, variety can be so many things. It can be the physical things you're doing. It can be the mental kind of environments that you are producing with your dirty talk, with your actions, with your body language, whatever it is. So yes, incorporate variety. You can use toys, you can use lube, you can use lingerie, anything you can think of, try it. And be open-minded about it, and your sex life will improve dramatically. And what it will also do is, if you have something amazing that works extremely well, like I mentioned before, and then you take a break from it, guess what? When you reintroduce that thing that you know works extremely well, it's going to work that much better because it's like, yeah, I love this. Where was this? I wanted more of this. But just don't overdo it, you know?
There is nothing more attractive than somebody that looks after and actually cares for their sexual health. So this isn't just about going to get regular STI checkups. This is about personal hygiene and making sure that you're all good down there. Check yourself out in the mirror, looking at all the nitty gritty bits, because if someone's face is going to be down there, you want to make sure it's top crystal. I don't know why. Well, I was thinking, yeah, I was thinking of like an advert, like it's crystal clear.
So yeah, I think hygiene is the most important takeaway from this tip because, like she said, if there is someone's face down there or your face is somewhere, if there's a smell, if there's something unsightly, if there's something nasty going on down there, guess what? All of that horniness, all of that engagement, all of that passion is kind of out the window because now you're thinking, what is this smell? And the more engaged we are in the experience, the more present we are in the experience, the better the sexual experience will be. So things like smells, bad hygiene, that is a surefire way to make sure you are not in the moment because you're thinking about what this smell is rather than how amazing it is to be having sex with this person. So yes, I will say that's important. Sexual health is important. And I think just the fact that you are watching this video means that you are taking it seriously, hopefully, or at least will start taking it seriously in the future. That's my hope, at least.
Well, to get a good sex, you have to be...
To get a good sex.
You have to be honest about what you like in the bedroom with your partner and with yourself.
And also things like how you're feeling about the situation, whether or not this is just a fuck, a one-time thing, or whether or not you want something a little bit more. It is so important to be honest with yourself and your feelings and emotions and to be able to relay that back to your partner because, yes, if you're worried they're not going to feel the same way, at least you know sooner rather than later.
All right, so honesty, yes, of course honesty is going to be important. That kind of goes again with the communication and the learning. If you're communicating with someone, I mean, what else would your intentions be, in my opinion? You know, if you're going to a sexual experience asking someone what they like, what they don't like, then it's in your best interest to be honest, and I don't know why you wouldn't be at that point, but, you know, I guess this does happen a lot, so I don't know. But I think if you are having sex with someone, you should be a mature adult about it and just be honest, communicate, and yeah, go from there. That's a good tip. Not much else needs to be said about that. So, how did they do according to a sex coach like myself? Well, I think these 5 tips were pretty good. Yeah, not much criticism to be had here. Everything was pretty solid. It was pretty basic, so nothing groundbreaking, I would say. Stuff that pretty much should be common sense, but unfortunately it isn't. And, well, I guess fortunately for me, because I wouldn't have a job if this stuff was common sense. But anyway, that will do it for me in this video. So if you like what you saw and you want more of it, definitely subscribe. Definitely like this video and comment below so that more people watch it, because YouTube seems to like that kind of stuff. And, you know, I like it too, and I will answer any comments, respond to any comments down there. I love doing that. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And get out there and have amazing sex. Bye, guys.